Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to IT Enabling Green Forum 2008, presented to you by Polycom. This event is brought to you by E18, which is the specialized events division of Network 18 Media and Investments Limited. The event is in association with CNBC TV 18, India's premier business news channel. I would especially like to thank our sponsors, BT, CSC, Dell, and Greenco, and our media partners Business Standard, BizTech2, and CHIP for extending their support towards this event. I would now like to invite and extend our most warm welcome to Ms. Sheila Dikshi, Chief Minister of Delhi, on stage, please. Ms. Dikshit was sworn in as Chief Minister for the second consecutive term of the government of NCT of Delhi on 15th December 2003. She is the second woman Chief Minister of Delhi. She is also the Secretary of the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust, and under her aegis, an environmental center has been set up at the trust. Welcome, Ms. Dikshit. Please welcome Mr. Yugal Sharma, Regional Director, India and South Asia, Polycom. Mr. Yugal Sharma is responsible for Polycom's operations in the region, including sales and marketing and strategic alliances. He is responsible for setting up the Polycom India subsidiary about 5 years back and has taken Polycom through a successful growth phase. Please welcome Ms. Shireen Bhan, Bureau Chief and Associate Editor, CNBC TV 18. Ms. Bhan is a graduate from St. Stephen's College, New Delhi, and with a degree in philosophy, and did her master's in communication studies from the University of Pune, with film and television as her area of specialization. She is one of the most recognized faces on television and has interviewed the who's who of Indian business. She was voted FICCI Woman of the Year in 2005. She is CNBC's Political Affairs Editor and the Delhi Bureau Chief. We would now begin our forum, and may I please invite Ms. Bhan to initiate the program, please.
Thank you very much, Shivani. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Mrs. Sheila Dikshi, and all other dignitaries. Thank you very much for joining us here on this special occasion. With the overall economy on an upswing, the industry in general is poised for tremendous growth. While this kind of growth is welcome, it is also imperative to grow in a sustainable and environmentally responsive manner. Although environmental awareness has increased, there has been an accompanying shift in the historical conflicted relationship between business profitability and environmental stewardship. It is estimated that information technology does as much damage to the environment as the airline industry. In fact, IDC estimates that roughly 50% is spent on energy for every dollar of computer hardware that is expected to increase by 54% to 71 cents over the next 4 years. So there is a problem on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The IT industry is growing faster than the aviation industry, and with over a billion computers on the planet, it is responsible for around 2% of man-made CO2 annually, which is on par with the global airline industry. The IT industry not only generates CO2, but also is an immense volume of e-waste producer. According to a research report by the International Resource Group, or the IRG, India alone generates about 146,000 tons of e-waste every year, and with the demand of computers growing at an alarming rate, the country's domestic e-waste is expected to touch 600,000 tons by 2012. Most of the e-waste till now has been recycled in a way that it poses severe health risks. Tons of toxic material like lead, arsenic, and chromium dumped in landfills cause contamination of groundwater. As more and more companies get aware of such issues, they are taking conscious efforts towards better ways of waste management, and that indeed is a good sign. A consensus effort towards enabling an eco-friendly environment has created an IT green evolution in the IT industry. All the top IT industries, or companies really, are promising their customers more eco-responsible products, and they are actively working towards solutions that would improve energy efficiency, minimize waste and use of harmful materials, and will reduce their carbon footprint as well, while increasing computation storage and cost effectiveness. Now, this forum, which is aptly called IT Enabling Green 2008, is an ideal platform for all concerned with green IT to come together and share ideas, discuss ideas, and deliberate on the road ahead and the ways forward. Let me now introduce to you Yugal Sharma, Regional Director of Polycom. They really have helped E18, CNBC TV 18 put this event together. Yugal Sharma will give you a better perspective on what you can expect from this event going forward. Yugal.
Good morning. Good morning. Good, that sounds better. Wednesday morning, I think early in the day. First of all, a big thanks to all of you to have assembled here and having taken out your time from your busy schedules. First of all, I would like to welcome our Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Ma'am Sheila Dikshi, other speakers today from the IT enablement, I would say green enablement fraternity, delegates who have taken out time, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are making an endeavor here along with CNBC to create a platform where I believe, as very aptly said by Shireen, that IT industry is moving much faster, at a faster pace than the airline industry and things like that. So I'll cover very quickly in my inaugural welcome address about the concerns that we are all going through together. This platform that has been initiated, as you can see, it has got a mix of different leaderships. To start with the political leadership, where we have Ma'am, and thanks again to her to take out her time, where the political leadership, the policy making has to look into the concerns that we will debate and discuss, people will present during the day. And then we have the IT leadership team, which is represented by various sponsors and of course the delegates from different walks of industries. And the common issues for all of them are well known and all that will be discussed. So all that put together, I believe at the end of the day, we should definitely reach at some level of understanding in the common issues and challenges that we're facing. Shireen also said about global warming. This is, I would say, very common, the biggest threat, and it's not our issue or your issue or my issue. I mean, it's everyone's issue on the planet, and it's going to change and it's going to affect everybody's lives. So that's what something governments across the globe are looking at. And if the planet is getting corroded, it's not that India will be affected or China will be affected or the Western world will be affected. We all are going to be affected. We all understand that. So from our everyday activities that are like small energy conservation points to things like burning the fuel gas for the airlines which are going more and more, all that put together is definitely positively, I would say, degrading the planet. And these are the challenges which in different fields all of us have to look into it. And we've already seen that the planet is getting warmer and the global warming is getting affected, and carbon dioxide emissions is the real cause of worry. And whatever is the root cause of that, I think we should look into that. And other facts which were shared by Shireen again, I would say that India contributes about 15 to 16% of the global population and contributes about 4 to 5% of, I would say, negatively affecting the planet. So that's a big challenge as a nation that we have, and of course as a city, as a state across the country. So that's what I think we need to look into it, and this all directly contributes to the greenhouse gases. As a developing country, India's constant endeavor is to reduce emissions, as I said earlier, so as to move forward towards creating a better planet. Indeed, we are witnessing one of the most radical changes in our history. We don't see it in our everyday lives, but I'll just give you a small example, which all delights have seen last week. There was a major clipping in the news that the rainfall, the rain has broken down 108 years of history of coming so much early in advance. it's good news, but look at the phenomena that's going on behind. The meteorological department was formed about 108 years back. So I can assure you that even before that, if the Met department was there, this record would have surpassed all the records. Why the rains hit first in Kerala ahead of the time they hit? Why they hit in Bombay? I was there 2 weeks back, monsoons begun, right? So these are all the signals that are coming to us. We are not seeing them the way I would say we need to look at, not even at a 30,000 or a 20,000 feet level. We need to look into it very closely now. And with that, fuel crisis on the other side, it's even making us think more that the balances of nature, where the fuel is going high, the whole economy is dependent on that. Every, I would say, a dollar increase results into 2% inflation increase globally and 10% increase in cost of various products because the whole economy is dependent on that. So Polycom today welcomes all of you once again, and in our own different way of showcasing and demonstrating our technology during the day. I'm also very happy to say that we have our managing director, Mr. Hansjoerg Wagner, who all the way from Singapore, sitting in his office, is going to address along with me for next 3-4 minutes. And by doing that, he's already saving 1 year's carbon emissions of a car. And this is all statistics available at the web. So if you take a flight from Delhi to Singapore, per person, and you don't take it, you're saving about 15,000 kilometers of fuel that you're going to burn in a car. So he's there right from his office with us. So over to Mr. Hansjoerg Wagner. Sir.
Thank you very much, Yugal. I believe everybody can hear me loud and clear and can see me in my office, literally here in Singapore. And first of all, a very warm welcome from very, very warm Singapore today. Ladies, gentlemen, valued guests, Chief Minister. The carbon footprint I'm creating by traveling to this event was probably very, very low. To put the whole thing a little bit in perspective, what Mr. Sharma said, if I would have joined you for this event by traveling, which the usual way is to attend meetings, I would have created a 3.1 ton of carbon dioxide or carbon footprint. 3.1 ton, and if you assume on top of that the travel to and from the airport here in Singapore, then probably staying a night or two in a hotel with all the facilities, the nice air conditioning and everything, the carbon footprint I would have created would have not done justice to the title of this event here by IT Enabling 2008 in India, to basically encourage green technologies. So when I was asked to join this event, I said immediately yes, but I also said immediately yes, and this but is I will join on video conferencing only. And what I'm using here is really right from my office. I have a desktop system, a high definition desktop system, a telepresence system, so I can see you if you would be sitting close enough, I could sit you in full size. You probably see me in larger than life size. And the meeting experience could be almost as good as being there. And this is possible due to advancements in technology. So not only do I save at least 3.1 tons of carbon dioxide and carbon footprint, actually by using video technologies, this is the best proof point that actually I can have meetings with anyone at any given time across any organization. And organizations become just more complex. The world is getting flat, that's the common term. Organizations spread out, and India, none better place to experience exactly that. The fast rise of the technologies, and especially software industry in India, have made traveling to India an absolute necessity. It is no wonder that the airports get more and more choked or clogged. It's almost impossible to get hotel rooms. And if I tell you that just from Singapore to Delhi and return, a 3.1 ton carbon dioxide footprint is being created, you multiply that by the amount of additional travel distance. If you travel from Europe or from the United States, you multiply that by the amount of people that need to or think they need to travel there, and it becomes a massive scale right away. Polycom as a company absolutely lives by this green philosophy. For example, I have, from the head office here in Singapore, we serve 19 locations in Asia Pacific. We have about 400 people spread across 19 locations, and we have our meetings on an ongoing basis, like I have this meeting with you, and with my direct reports, I have, out of my 12 direct reports, I have 11 not in the same location as I am. And statistics show you that this is actually a trend that's across the whole world. It's the figures are around 90% of the people work in locations other than the headquarters. About 80% of employees work in locations other than their supervisor. So there is an absolute increased need for efficient communication. And in terms of communication, as you will know, about 70% of the way we communicate is just non-verbal communication, it's the visual. So by just traveling there, you cut down on that, you have the best visual, but you create this massive carbon footprint. Analysts, for example, the Gartner Group, one of the most reputable organizations in the technology space, the Gartner Group predicts that within the next couple of years, actually over the next 2 years, governments will need to come up with initiatives to make all the businesses more sustainable. And green initiatives are just one of the many areas there. It's not about just being green per se. It is also about what to do on top of the whole thing. People will simply not go for green just because it's a good thing to do. Either it will be mandated by governments, which is clearly going to happen. There are estimates that within the next 10 to 15 years, carbon dioxide emissions will need to be cut by putting the respective legislation in place by around 20 to 50% and going forward even more than that. A very obvious way how to cut that is by cutting down on your travel. But not only do you cut down there, actually you make organizations much more effective and much more efficient. I could not do without these communication devices, which is quite interesting because I'm an old-timer in the IT industry, and by covering a territory as vast as Asia Pacific, you just cover a lot of travel distance. The previous companies I worked for, I was always proud, that I'm the #1 traveler in the company, not realizing what damage I'm really creating. I was traveling around 500,000 miles per year. So if I tell you that just Delhi and return Singapore, it's a 5,000 mile trip, and I used to travel 500,000 miles per year, and this is a 3.1 ton carbon dioxide footprint. You can imagine what sort of footprint I used to create all the time. So with this very short message here, I just want to show just a little bit of a contribution or an area where using technologies efficiently can definitely help in that area. And while I agree that the IT industry as a whole, because of increased demands on a global basis, actually contributes indirectly a lot to the carbon footprint expansion as well, by using technologies like that, in my very own case, by not spending 3.1 tons just for this presentation here, I think I have done a very good contribution to the overall society. With that, I wish that with this event and many more events that will follow in India, that there will be an increased level of awareness for sustainability and the impact of green initiatives, not only on the environment, but also on the businesses. And businesses need to change first so that the government can legislate the necessary changes as well. With that, enjoy the rest of the presentations of the day, and I believe it will be very valuable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, and very well said. And today's news again, 25% increase in airfare. I think it's even going to get worse, so we can't say more than that. And one quick last word I would like to say is for our Chief Minister, ma'am, that I grew up in the city, and when I was early in my corporate life, 10, 15 years back, my sales team used to give me a lot of times reasons, oh, boss, I got late, Delhi time, half an hour late. The traffic was bad. Now, even that kind of excuse is not possible because the city has really gone beautiful and the green initiatives have taken a lot in Delhi. So thank you, ma'am, and we hope we keep on seeing such better initiatives. Thank you, and welcome once again.